And then, yeah, so like with the teachers unions, they've, it's not a surprise that they're pushing for policies that for people like me, it's not a surprise that they're pushing for policies that don't benefit students. They're not a students union. They're not a kids union. They're a teacher union. And they don't even really do a good job for teachers either, though. This year and a half, they're making them look bad. They're pushing for political crap that a lot of the teachers don't really even agree with. I mean, look at Los Angeles Teachers Union. They called for a wealth tax, Medicare for all. They wanted to ban charter schools. They want police-free schools, all before that they would even reopen their public schools. And that they kind of just let the masks slip this past year and a half. They band together with the Democratic Socialists of America on at least 2 occasions. But now we already know they lobbied to keep the schools closed. We already knew through FOIA requests over the past few months, more and more have been coming out, these emails between the CDC, the Biden administration, and the teachers unions indicating that on at least 2 occasions, the CDC adopted the language from the American Federation of Teachers, Randy Weingarten's teachers unions, nearly verbatim on at least 2 occasions. So the teachers unions essentially wrote the reopening guidelines. And why is that important? Well, it's important because they lobbied to make it more difficult to reopen the schools. Why did they do that? Because they knew that if they kept the schools closed, that would give them a better bargaining position to say, hey, in order to reopen in this district, for example, I'm going to need this, that, or the other benefits in order to go back to work in person because look, the CDC said this. And it's easier to make that argument if, the CDC says that we should keep the schools closed. And that hurts so many kids, but we already knew all that. Right. And now the new emails revealed that there was coordination, at least consideration of these district level bargaining plans. So we already all kind of guessed that, they pushed to keep the schools closed longer because that would benefit the teachers unions and that would hold children's education hostage so that they could get some more resources. But we didn't have much, actual proof of them saying like, we should keep the schools closed because of this benefit. And one of the money quotes from the article that came out today was, we need to think about this in the broader context of teacher contract negotiations. And then another quote from the article was that another CDC official on that February 11th email exchange attached a news story regarding a Chicago teachers union contract negotiations. So again, they're in the email, and the next day, February 12th, they revised the guidelines to make it more difficult to reopen schools. I mean, so it's becoming more and more obvious that one of their considerations for changing the guidance to keep schools closed longer was, well, the teachers unions are bargaining on the ground. This might help them to get more resources. So for a lot of people, they're like, oh yeah, we already kind of knew this. But at the same time, this is just more damning evidence that the unions really just sought to protect themselves at the expense of millions of families at the worst time possible, when the families needed options more than ever.
Exactly.